Do marriage satisfy emotional fulfillment?
Ha! I'm sorry I had to scream. Okay, I think I learned this very late. One of the things that we should never think is that my spouse will make me happy.
I've learned that already.
I learned that quite late. Don't ever think that your spouse will make you happy. You must first be happy.
Hello, good day. Welcome to another episode of the Untamed podcast. I'm sure you missed us. We miss you too, and we're glad to be back. On today's episode of the Untamed podcast, we'll be having another series or a continuation of the previous series, The Honest Struggles in the Christian Walk. And the subtopic for today is, should I love who I am married to or marry who I love? I know you have so many thoughts in your head, but hold on. Let's say hi to our fellow hosts and our wonderful guests. So to my utmost right, I have...
Hi guys.
Hello.
My name is Hope.
Hi, Hope.
Yeah.
Hi. And to my nearest right, I have...
Mwazo Chibuzo.
Hi, Chibuza.
Hi.
How you doing? And we have our very beautiful guest. Oh my God, she's a woman of honor. She's a golden woman.
Timber and
A
Calvin.
woman of timber and... All right. So we have Mrs. Judith Madwakolam. Can I hear some shaka 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 shaka? All right. Good evening, Mama. Welcome to the Untamed podcast.
It's quite an honor to be here this evening.
I can see her. She's beaming with so much smiles. The excitement.
I
Okay.
really hope I'm safe here today, but it's okay. Smile.
You are. All right. Good evening, Ma. Good evening, everybody. From wherever you're watching us from. Hello.
Hello.
On today's topic, you might want to take a deep breath, get your water, get your pen, get your notes, because you're going to be learning from the streams herself. So, Mama, how do you feel being here today?
Okay, so it's a mix of emotions.
Okay.
I'm glad that I'm here. I've watched few episodes and great conversations come. So it's quite a privilege to be here, and hopefully I'll do justice to today's question. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So our topic, the major topic, is the honest struggles in the Christian walk. I don't know if you saw our last episode. We tried to dissect that, the honest struggles. So I don't know if you have a different opinion about that topic, the honest struggles.
Truly, there are struggles. You know, the thing is, not just for Christians, we have struggles, you know, in the society, but the fact that you're a Christian, it makes the struggles even different. You know, like I tell even the children that I teach in school, I tell them that everybody is doing it doesn't make it right. That's where it's even more difficult for Christians. You know, everybody's saying those things, everybody's doing those things. And then for a Christian, it's more difficult because you are seeing people do it, but you can't do those things. You know, and then you need to have to form a niche for yourself and then get people to believe in your niche. And sometimes you don't get to believe in what you do, but you just need to stay true to what you do.
True.
You know, so there are actually struggles. And then one of the things that I have been looking at and learning recently is the area of being good and nice. You know, for one of the honest struggles that we struggle with is, should I be good or should I be nice? I learned recently that there's a difference between being good and being nice. So our honest struggle is, should I be good? Should I be nice? Now, in the society, we have a lot of nice people. And I learned recently that being nice is following the crowd. You just want to satisfy people. You want people to just feel good. That's being nice. Sometimes you're being nice because of the moments. I want them to say, oh, I'm a nice person. But when you are good, you are standing on what is right. So regardless of what other people think or how people feel,
You've already created your own belief system.
you are doing what is right. You know. And then the person who was talking to me said, did you notice that the Bible did not say that Jesus went about doing nice things?
You went about doing
Bible says he
good.
went about doing good. And in doing good, some people did not like it.
True.
But they were the right thing, so he did them regardless. So that's one of the struggles that we face.
Honest
Should I be good?
struggles.
Should I be nice?
Wow. I told you we are going to learn a lot today. Are you jotting things down? Or should I love who I am married to? Or should I marry who I love? I know that this is a very dicey question, but we are youths. And this is one of our very honest struggles. Very honest. Should I, Mama, so let's take it from that angle. Should I love who I am married to? Or should I marry who I love? Let's just take it like verbatim.
Would you allow me, please?
Listen.
If I answer this question.
Yes.
Okay, so when I got this invite and I saw the topic of discuss, it took me a while. I was okay. Should I love who I marry?
Yeah.
Or should I marry who I love?
Yeah.
Now, the most important thing is that there's a love in the equation. First things first, you know. And I remember telling a friend recently, I said, all the while, we've always seen love as a verb, a doing word.
Yes.
You know, so I do love. I do it. I act it. But having stayed 12 years in marriage,
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Okay.
And love is not only a verb. Love is a noun. Is a naming word. Love is a person. So, going by that, you realize that if love is only about acting, then it is easy to fall out of love because you just act it
for a period of time.
Then after some time, when a lot of things happen in marriage, the storms come, the children come, and then it looks like the attention has shifted from your partner to the children, or you have a job that you're putting all into, and it seems like you're loving the job more than the marriage. Then love being a person will be more important. So I'm about to get married.
Yes.
First things first. One of the things that will attract me or make me stay with this person or marry this person is because I love the person. And many times it's the act of love. It's the verbal love. It's the verb. I want to act it. Also, I act it in I want to be where you are. I want to hear your voice. I want to speak to you. I want to visit you. Oh, great. But as time goes on, love goes beyond a verb to being a person. Now, if you read the book of 1 Corinthians, that's the Bible passage that every person who gets married, especially in our church, will read on your wedding day. 1 Corinthians 13. Now, if you get from I think from verse 4, you will see the attributes of love. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love endures all things.
Yes.
Love. Reading through that thing again today, I realized that is the definition of a person. I'm kind. I'm patient. Not love. I am. So love is I am. Is a person.
Okay.
So if I must get married to somebody, I should be able to love the person as a noun and love the person as a verb. So as a verb, we keep me started.
Yeah.
But as a noun, we keep me going regardless.
It has to be the character.
It now has to be, yes. So
Personality.
there's no money. Things are everywhere is looking all somehow. But because I am love a person, I will stay.
Mm.
But if I'm acting as a verb, come on, if I don't see those things that I started with at the beginning,
Yeah.
I can just drop it and just go. So love is a person
Okay.
beyond benefit.
Mama, sorry, please. I have a lot in my head already. Before I shoot into the questions, Mama already said that we should marry for love.
Mm-hmm.
Love as in the act that you can see.
You should be
You
loved.
should
Then you should.
then you should now be the
So it's
Sir, did you get that?
Catching.
You're catching something. Please ask your question.
Well, from what you said, love who you want to marry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to weigh it from the angle of, as we said, love. Should you
Should
love
I love who
who
I am
want
married
to
to or marry who I
who
love?
I love?
Yeah.
That's the angle that I'm now looking at.
Okay.
Because most time from our parents, there's a mindset they give our young ladies. They say, Mariam, when you marry him, you're gonna go love on herself.
You will learn to
Yeah.
That's the answer I'm coming from.
Yes, growing up or majorly in the past, that's what actually plays out. And then you realize that in those days, many of our mothers or many of the wives just endured because they had to be there.
Yes.
They just endured. So after a while, you realize that there's no friendship.
Friendship is a
There's no
The
friendship.
real word.
Where I can see my husband and say, guy, alpha. Most times, you would not see me speak to my husband and say, hey, now guy most of the time. Because
Daddy.
I can't do that. Guy, alpha.
Yeah.
Because there is a friendship. Now, I think my 9th and 10th year of my marriage were the very stormy part of my marriage. So many things happened around that time. And then, personally, there were times I'm like, am I sure I will not pack my things and just walk in? But, like I said, love is a person. So, in as much as I was like, I'm not tired, can I just walk in? I see him and I still feel the love. And I still act the love. So he feels, treasure, things are not the way it used to be from the beginning. Treasure used to do XYZ in the beginning. And I know that I was not acting the love. But I knew that there was a connection with this person. No matter how angry I was, no matter how I couldn't go. I couldn't because this person, now my guy. So do anyhow. We die here. Right here.
Okay. This friendship thing, some people see it as a disrespect.
I even want to throw a question.
Okay.
From what you said, you're saying that the way we are doing it now, where we are loving whom we intend to marry, is much
better. Yes.
But one might say, statistically, and facts, that the rate of
Divorce is on the
Could it be that because of this friendship that we have brought into marriage?
So if I'm responding to your question, it should be the act of love.
The act now.
Yes. Could it be that these let me call it modern way we are doing things is actually not effective?
Great. Now, if I'm going to pick that up from what most of us do when we want to get married now is we go out. It's okay. Go to the beach, go date. It's so excellent. But I remember asking a young girl who was about getting married. I asked her, are you actually asking the right questions? So many times we get carried away by the act of love.
He buys me gifts.
Oh, yeah. We went on a date. We went to the cinema. And we were carried away by that. And we are not asking the right questions. We are not communicating the right way. We are not saying the right things.
Because we are blinded.
Because we are acting the love. And so when we get in and our eyes have clicked.
When the
veil has been lifted.
Then you are now seeing, okay, guy doesn't flush. The guy flings his clothes everywhere. Like, but you did this, we're giving friend. Those things were there, but you did not see because you were acting the love and you were carried away by it.
Can I say,
Please ask away.
looking at the kind of environment you find ourselves from the angle of the young ladies, I feel now, how do young ladies or the young men weigh the love before marriage? You know why I'm asking? You are someone because
To put it, because I was about to ask, sorry,
Something
same
similar.
question.
Okay.
You made mention of asking the right questions.
Okay.
So what are the, I don't know if that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Because
The right questions.
What are the right questions?
yeah, the right questions. Well, okay.
So yeah, that's my
Yeah, I think Chibuzor is trying to quantify. How do you
Quantify.
measure?
How do you measure?
love
the
before
whole
marriage.
Yeah, how do you measure it?
How do you measure
And that's okay. I am ready to get married to her because I have seen that she has crossed 80%
Yeah.
of my.
Is it
She has ticked
80%?
80% of my box.
So that's a nice thing.
She has ticked 90%.
Because it's a person. So
Oh, it's a person. Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, you know, okay, I was listening to Lawrence Oyo and then the Mike Bamiloni clan. I was listening to them one day, and then Lawrence said something that I've already said. Lawrence said one of the problems or the mistakes that many Christians make is that we do not hear from God on things, very trivial things.
Yes.
Until when there's a major thing in our life, then Father, speak to me, show me a sign, give me a sign, one thing. But those, I want to go out. Father, should I go out?
What dress should I wear?
What should I wear?
Yeah.
How do I? It's so bad that down to the teaching method I will use in class. I ask God, how do I teach this? I have a child who has one or two challenges. How do I reach the child? So I would have planned a lesson. But I get to the front of my board and the lesson changes instantly. Because the Holy Ghost has said, you are not doing it like this today. You want to reach XYZ child. This is how you reach the child. So the Holy Ghost has begun to speak to me on different matters. So when it comes to the matter of love, I don't need to be, Father Lord, talk to me. He has already given me a blueprint. I already know what's up. So what will be your standard, Chibuzo? Will be a different standard for Charles because of, in quote, our different levels of spiritual attainment. So what Charles is looking out for might be different, totally different from what Chibuzo is looking out for. So the lady that you meet at different times will tick different boxes based on what you are looking out for. So I remember my husband telling someone that when he was about to get married, he told God that he wanted a tall wife. He wanted someone that was tall. He wanted someone that can wear in. He wanted somebody, and then God brought somebody that was number one short and not like he likes to wear sneakers. So, and then he met one of his fathers, like said, are you going to choose tall person over what God says you should go for? You know, and so I remember him buying my shoes for my traditional wedding. I think I wore that shoe. It was very, bro, I don't even wear this thing. It's not me. So I went for that. I think I gave out the shoes to somebody I've never worn because that's not me. So over time, he realized that, okay, this is not what God wants. This is not what God is not giving me what I want. He's giving me what he wants from me. So, and what you need at the moment. So that's why I said, if we must get to a level in our spiritual walk where God can speak to you about anything. So he tells you, this is what I want for you in your life, depending on his plan for your life. I am a missionary. God will not want to give you a wife who will not support that part of your life.
Who doesn't want to go out?
Who does not want to go out? I remember saying, I don't want to marry pastor. No pastor in my life. And no one. Solomon is not a pastor, but he's a pastor. Somehow, I had to find myself. Somehow. So somehow, I had to be in the shoes. Even if it was difficult for me at first, I live a very quiet life. But I cannot say I'm quiet. I have to come. I have to.
We cannot say you're quiet.
Okay, at what time did you know he was the right person?
Bro, so no, let me tell you the truth. He had come in 20 They got married in 2012. Okay, he had come in 2010. I had said saying he was a very close family friend. He was close to my sisters, everybody. I never saw him. But I was in school towards the ending of, I was writing my project. And I was looking for someone who could, fund my project, because we had lost our dad, lost our mom. So we had to train ourselves. And so I remember picking up my phone in school. And I said, hello, brother, I'm writing project, one thing. And then they sent me money for the project. And I remember that writing when you write dedication.
Yeah.
But that solo stay was in the project.
Back out.
I will never forget.
Okay.
So in 2010, when so he came to my then I came to my church 1 year. I say never to go back to the no, I've gone. But I could see there's some things that I wanted. The first thing that I wanted was a man who, when a guy can be very vulnerable before God, a guy that can cry when he's in God's presence. I needed that vulnerability. I'm very vulnerable. So I needed someone who can be vulnerable with me. Who can match, so that it's not when I'm crying. I say, why are you crying? Is it that small thing? You won't understand that emotion. So I needed somebody like that. So I'd see that, but I was still making time. I was 1 year. I didn't. My church even did not talk, did not say anything. So until I think he came to church. I was singing that day. I was on stage singing. It was an Holy Communion service. I was doing and then I heard very clearly. Follow so that I said, God forbid. Cannot say no more. God forbid. I cannot. But that was good. And it was after that service, I just told myself, okay, fine.
I surrender.
This is the way I'm supposed to be. And I told someone, if I'd gotten married to the person I wanted to get married to, my spiritual life, I don't think I would have been here. The things that I know, the things that I would have gotten to this point, if I'd
So, okay, fine. Choose or ask your question.
Sometimes, have you watched the horror movie?
I don't like horror.
I'm coming. I want to. There's a reason I asked that question. Or there's a scenario that you have been looking at it. I'm trying to see how we can differentiate the person God wants for us. And sometimes when you are too carried away with being close to somebody, in your mind you just summarize it that's the person. Because there are sometimes you be praying to God and be thinking, oh God, give me a wife. Meanwhile, your mind is also painful.
Okay, your mind is fixated on something else.
And sometimes when you not sleep, I know somebody.
You see the dream.
You see the
You see that person with the umbrella.
I remember.
Sleeping.
I know of a scenario. It's a distant relative in a way. It's unfortunate. We were close. And while he was telling me about, there's somebody, he's praying not to be married. And after the whole thing, he started telling me of a scenario that he was on a tree. And you are plucking fruits.
And she was plucking it. Oh my God.
He was so after the whole thing. He was so after that she was behind plucking fruit and everything. Yes. And to cut the long story short, they got married. After a long while.
So did you marry barefoot?
Wait. After a long while. After a long while, they got married. They gave birth to their first child, a girl, the second, and unfortunately, the third fruit. The lady, to call the long story short, I think, got into one or two
extracurricular activities,
and she got infected with
STDs,
which is much extreme, which I know because I was part of the system.
Okay.
After a long time,
sorry, just let me clear. Of which system?
No, I was part of the process because
family meeting.
So to cut the long story short, she fell sick.
Oh, okay.
And after the whole thing, she passed on.
Oh.
And after she passed on, so when they went to check this sanctuary, medical, he was infected. And that same thing consumed his life. He passed on. And in that scenario, when I go, and the medical doctor from their research said, because before she passed on, they checked. So they noticed that she had contacted
From outside.
and transmitted it to him.
Mm.
And he passed on. Now, where do you judge such a
No.
In that
get me on coming from?
in that scenario, I would not say that God was not.
Exactly.
However, that God has said this is it does not mean that's
Precise. Doesn't mean
You take your hands.
relax.
Bible says
Yeah.
work out your salvation.
Yes, with fear and trembling. Yes.
And then Paul said, I carry my cross daily. I carry my cross. So I said, daily walking.
It's not just enough to
that I got born again today.
Doesn't mean
Doesn't
you're
mean
totally there to see.
final. No. So every day I need to keep working.
if you see
I need to keep working. So it's possible that it got to a point in her life, she lost concentration, and everything just happens. So that somebody is the right person for my life does not mean that that's so. Oh, everything.
Fold your hands and
I say it's a path.
yes.
You must stay on the path,
Stay
on
on
the
that.
narrow way.
That's
You
it.
deviate and then
Anything can
It is.
happen. That's just it.
Okay, so Mama has answered a lot of
sorry,
questions.
you know, something just came to me
Okay.
on this same scenario that Chips of
Shoot.
And when we are saying not deviating from the path, I believe we are all talking with respect to the lady. Now, what was the role of the man, the husband, and what could he have gotten? What could he have done?
Don't
better?
better.
I would take it back to the Bible. You know, when this issue of marriage comes up and should I love who I marry and all that, and finding the will of God in marriage, one thing that always comes first to my mind is the issue of Adam and Eve. I don't think there is anybody in this life who can really boast like Adam that God literally molded my wife for me
Sure.
physically. He literally went to sleep and woke up with a wife.
Beside
In fact, I don't know if he was looking for a wife, but God said he saw
God just saw it.
That he
Right.
needed.
yeah, he saw it that it was lonely.
I'll check again, but my Bible did not recall Adam asking God for a
No,
wife.
he
No, he
never.
did not.
God saw that he was lonely.
Yeah.
Yes.
What this man needs
Some.
is not another animal friend. He's a wife, and he gave a wife for him.
Yes.
And yet, that same thing still went haywire. So back to that my question now. When your spouse is deviating from the path, what is the role of the other person? How do we draw the person back? Because you can see that your spouse can easily bring you down.
Yes.
Okay. So how
That's why the
do
Bible
we-
says, can two work together except they be agreed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's the role of the
Okay.
spouse?
So I was going to say, I told you that during my night and 10th year of my marriage, there were a lot of we had our own challenges and all that. But do you know that some of the things that happened, my husband saw them before they happened. So I remember that times he called me and said, Treasure, I saw XYZ in the dream, and I think this is what is about to happen. Me, I knew that that's what's going to happen. My guy brought it. But God showed him this to me. And then I remember that there are nights I wake up and I hear him pray. And he's praying concerning that matter. So what am I saying? You know, it's one thing to be a father and to be
Another
a
thing
man.
to be a priest.
And it's another thing to be a priest. So God showed, so the fact there was one part that was very, very as an exact. Even if I tried to say, no, it's not, but that was it. God showed him. So he had begun to pray. He had seen that this person was going, something is happening here. So he began to pray ahead. So for me, I think it was his prayers that saved, that salvaged the situation, that he didn't get so much. So the work in marriage is not a one man's work. It's possible that I met my wife and she was not born again, just like Uzziah met and God said, marry. Yes. But then again, as we move ahead, it's expected that I hold his hands, he holds my hands, and we are going together. We are growing. A man who cannot groom me to grow beyond where I am, I don't think that man is actually the man for me. And a woman who cannot, take me to a particular level, I don't think that woman is the woman for me.
True.
And I know that from our conversations before we get married, you will begin to decipher. That's why we said, ask the right questions. We're not carrying the with all the, we went to the beach. There are some things that you bring up in your
conversation,
and then you can pick one or two things from this conversation.
Yes.
I watched a movie. I was in a Nigerian movie recently, and then the guy had an issue with his job, with his family. Came from a very rich family, and then he misbehaved, and then his father disowned him and said, "Oh, I don't want to have anything to do with you." And then they told him to go and sell in one village. And the girl went to see him there. And then he told the girl, "Oh, I don't have any money anymore. My father disowned me." The girl said, "What? I cannot be in this village." And she packed her bag.
Left.
The moment the guy realized he had done wrong, he came back to Lagos after his service, begged his father, and go back to job. Somehow, the girl heard that the guy was back, and then she came back. "Oh, beggar!" That's what many girls and many youths of nowadays are all about. Even guys, it's not just the girls.
Yes.
Like, I remember I was in the broadcast and someone was saying, should we work on the girls more than the boys? And I remember telling the person, I said, do you know that boys even there are some very deep issues that boys go through. They don't talk about.
Yes. Because they've been told men.
Somebody told me that he was molested for years, constantly, by a nurse. Anytime he falls ill and goes to the hospital, she molests him. But he couldn't talk. He's a boy. He's expected that you're supposed to be all put together. Don't cry. Don't do this. But women, smart, why loud? Do me. That's it. So it's not just the women folk that have their issues. Even the men have their issues. So when we even train our boys, we should train boys that can be husbands, good husbands. And then train girls that can be wives to these husbands.
Yes.
And when we train girls that can be good wives to your boys.
Yes.
I want to get are you sure?
Yes,
I want to find a synergy where there is what Hope said. I want to find a synergy. Now, Hope said Adam was asleep when God created.
Yes. Yes.
And the Bible says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. How do we find the needs of this situation?
The last time God gave was Adam. And Adam accused God.
God, exactly.
So God said, okay, after, go and find.
So I can't just go and sleep now and hope for my wife
to just appear.
You have to go and find.
So now
I will not tell God that see the person that you give from inside.
But remember that in your finding, a Christian has to be a Christian. Marry a believer.
Personally, this my views, like in the example you gave, issue of purpose. I can only see as much as God should.
We see in parts. We know in parts.
We know in parts.
See your exact tomorrow, the exact picture of your tomorrow. You don't know.
No.
But God knows. So are you saying it's wrong of me to trust God to bring that person that would be compatible, not with my today?
With your oh no. Who says? Very possible.
Absolutely.
However, God expects that we ourselves, as He wants to bring the person to you, you are also working on yourself.
You are becoming the love.
You are becoming. Just as God is also helping that person wherever the person is to become. And then when it is the right time for you to meet, He finds a way around.
Everything is orchestrated.
He finds a way.
Divinely orchestrated.
I left the church how many years ago after my father died in 2004. I left. We're born, brought up. Same. But I left. How God orchestrated my way back. I just knew that it was God.
True.
Because I was already a music coordinator in the church I was doing well. And one of the reasons why they didn't want to release me, why do you want to release this person? But God's plan was that I come back. And that's why I'm here. So become where you are. And let God also help that person become. Leave the meeting.
So that's also for the youth.
So in your experience, Mama, how can prayer and spiritual discernment influence decisions related to marriage and relationships?
You cannot quantify the place of prayer and the place of spiritual discernment. That's why I said God should have been speaking to us
before now.
Before we get to marriage issues. God would have been dealing with us personally. That's why your work with God personally is even more is key first. Leave other things. You have a relationship with God already. God speaks to you. God directs you. God tells you, oh, do this. Oh, don't do that. Do this. So when the area of marriage comes,
it's not strange.
It's not strange because you already have the dealings. You know, so in the area of prayer, you can't do. There's no you without prayer. You have to pray. It's just like rudiments of getting a new job or getting a job.
Onboarding.
So it's a rudiment. One of it's an important part of it.
Interview.
Prayers. So even when you go out for your dates and all that, do you pray? Do you pray? I remember that before we got married, we settled our marriage at the back of our church. That's our church parking space. That was where most of our datings used to be. We used to meet in church. I remember I was like, that church used to pray the way we used to pray these days. We settled a lot in the place of prayer. So when things began to materialize, it was not a shock because we had prayed about it.
Okay. So I have another question. You know, now in this our generation, people are always timing God.
They have to be this time.
Right, giving God time.
Forward,
like God, I'm 35.
Yeah.
And then I'm not married. If I'm not married by December, what I'll do to you? That's aside. Then another aspect is you're younger, you're growing, you're getting a job, and they're already telling you if you get a job, move away from your family house, buy a car. Nobody will talk to you, nobody will look at you. Nobody will do that. And then there's this other perspective that men, I think most, I don't know, but let me not generalize, but I think men have, is when they meet a lady and she's maybe in her late 20s and they're already seeing her as old. Like she, there's this, should I call it biologically old? And so the girl is already thinking, oh, I'm 29, I'm 30, nobody's going to get married to me. I beg, let me just focus on my life, this, that. And before you know it, she's...
I listened to your last podcast when you were talking about what was that podcast again? And I heard someone say, find the right
find the right community.
The right community. So most times, what happens to most of our youths is because we're in the midst of different people who tell us different things. Once you just reach 35, you never marry, you have problem. There's something wrong.
It's spiritual problem from your father's side.
And then we forget that Jacob wanted to marry Rachel. And Bible says that the time his father Laban said, okay, come and marry.
Yeah.
He gave him Leah.
Yes, first.
And then he had to wait
7 years.
7 years. Who knows if at the time he wanted to marry her, she might have been 25. And then he had to wait another 7 years. So she was 32. And then she didn't even have children to make matters worse.
She was 7, that's 14 years.
14 years?
Yeah, 7.
And then another, another 7 years. Okay. And then she didn't give birth to make matters worse.
Yeah.
So, who knows, maybe when she now finally gave birth, she was 35. So what are we saying? God's clock is not our clock.
Focus on the timekeeper.
Just leave the timekeeper to hold his clock. Just be doing your own.
Find your purpose.
Just in the midst of all of those things, just focus on the person who actually gave the time. Leave the remaining. It also, one of the things that we don't, I know of people who have given birth, who have waited how many long years, and then they put to bed when they say once your menopause 54, is that 54 they give birth to that first children. And then I know of a lady in church, her first she got pregnant, and then I saw her, oh, you're pregnant. And after a few months, I didn't see her with the pregnancy again. Then I met her in church. I said, what happened to you? She cried and all that. I know I held her hand that day in church and I prayed for her. I told her not to worry. Yesterday, I came for the baptism of our children. She gave birth to twins. So what are we seeing? Your clock and God clock will be the same. Who even give you clock? Who created you in the first place? The person who created you is the owner of the clock. So he does it at his own time. Leave your clock. Leave your
Emma, from what she just asked, I want to also come from a different angle. Don't you think that biologically and why ladies are growing up, don't you think that the time that most of them are much younger, they're 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, sometimes some of them are too carried away. I'm talking
So
from
instead
a
of
man.
instead of doing the right thing,
There's another perspective to that.
Yes.
When a guy meets you, maybe you're in your late 20s, they believe that you
have wasted.
No, I'm asking that question from that other angle. Because sometimes, from a man's angle, we are men.
Yes.
And no,
that girl wasted
not really wasted.
So why she?
They were not focused on aspects.
My point
is
not really wasted. My point is, most of them feel that they have enough time. Most of them feel that I have so much on my mind to achieve. Most of them feel I must get masters. Most of them feel I must get PhD. Most of them feel I must be able to achieve this or this and that. And don't you think that because of that, it takes away the attention from focusing on the right thing at the right time?
So are you sorry, Mama? Are you saying marriage should be the right thing?
Okay.
At 20, marriage should be the right thing. When you are probably at 20s when you just got admission into university, because some people did not get admission early.
Okay.
Unlike some of us that maybe went to school very early. Some people didn't get admission early. Some people waited for like 4 years, 5 years before getting admission into school. So are you saying immediately I get admission into university, my next focus should be marriage?
What you said.
What happens to my life
Okay,
goals?
now that's a good question.
Yes.
But don't you think that some people can get married while in school? That's another angle.
Don't you also think, Brother Chibuzo?
I'm coming.
Don't you also think that the brother or men should also begin to think marriage from 20 years?
From 19.
That's correct.
That's
correct. That's correct.
What is correct?
But that's what I'm thinking. So, okay, you need to make yourself a good husband.
But anyway, we say think. Yeah, so I believe by think you mean preparing.
So, why is it that it is the woman who is looked at like, what did she use at
19, 20
years to do?
Exactly.
It was the same thing that you were doing in your 19. It's the same thing I was doing in my 19, 20 years.
Okay.
You were prepared.
Because the area I'm coming from is at that time when most of them are much younger. I just want to sound, not that some of them at that time, the way they relate with people, they are too snobbish. They always have that snobbish attitude.
Well,
some at that they are very selective at that particular time. And at that time, when you are, let me say, okay, you plant a fruit, and while it's growing up, it's very ripe. They feel, oh, I'm on top of the world. I can do anything. They're around me and everything. And at that time of 2021, 22, many men are anxious and desperate to meet them.
There's some people that never had that opportunity at 2021, 2021.
People that would say that did not have the opportunity are those that maybe their parents locked them.
That's not true.
That's not true.
I'm just saying.
That's not
This one, you are wrong.
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not.
What's your?
That's not true.
In my view, I'll be different.
That's not
Okay.
The fact that many men are at your doorstep doesn't mean those men are your husband.
Exactly.
Of course, no, you are right. I agree with you.
There are some
And it doesn't even mean that is even the right time to get married.
Yes.
Okay.
So that I have many men launching around me at 22. It doesn't mean that that's the right time for me to get married.
No, you are
It doesn't
correct.
mean.
But it still means that at that time, while you are following academics and everything, you should also be observant.
What if
I'm just saying.
No, it's not cast on paper.
Okay.
That should be what I'm thinking about.
Mm.
In as much as marriage is good, marriage is brilliant, marriage is beautiful, but many people we should learn not to be lost in the euphoria of I want to get married, and then we lose ourselves.
Yes.
Lose who we should be.
True.
There are lots of things that I want to achieve as a woman.
Yes.
Myself, not
Yes.
because of marriage.
Of course.
Now,
Not being
I got
lost in
married
marriage.
by the grace of God. I remember that after my first semester MSc, I did my traditional wedding. My second semester, I wrote my exam my last paper was October 5th. I got married October 20th.
Mm.
Now, but after my MSc in 2012, I did not go back to school for another 10 years. So, if I was not married, I would have gone back. I would have furthered.
Yeah.
I would have done a lot of things. But immediately I got married, children began to come. A lot of things began.
Focus
So
shifted.
my focus shifted.
Mhm.
Now, if you're going to ask me what of my regrets, even if it's not
It's not a regret.
is,
Yeah.
I would have said, I would have furthered. I would have done other things. I would have, So I only could go back to the books last or 2 years ago. And then I told myself, come on, you've given them 10 years of your life. Now this is your life. There are some things you always wanted to achieve.
Mm.
You want to do your doctorate degree. You want to be a professor. You want to lecture. So these are the things that I actually always wanted to do. So right now I'm doing those things.
Yes.
But I have a sister who got married. I remember she was pregnant while she did her MS. She was pregnant. She did her PhD.
Mm.
She was pregnant. She became a doctor.
Doggedness.
Not just dog.
So what are we saying?
You marry, I think, has a long way.
But the person she married was another helper.
Mm-hmm.
You get where I'm coming.
So for my husband, he said, don't worry, treasure. So now, once you just say treasure, what are we doing next? What do you want? Because that is him.
Mm.
So for my sister, that was her timing, and that was how God wanted her to
So
take.
if you had stayed and you were envying her.
So if I stayed, I'm like, my sister, they are done.
All right.
Who knows where I would have been?
All right.
So marriage an achievement. I think that's a talk for another day.
It's a talk for another day.
However, don't get lost.
In the euphoria of
Don't get lost, please.
Marriage.
Live your life.
Mama, I have a question, please. What advice would you give to someone grappling with the tension between choosing a partner out of love versus loving the partner they choose?
In the first place, the partner, if you want to choose somebody, one of the things that makes you choose the person is that you love the person.
Mm.
I cannot get married to somebody I do not love. So I must first, one of the rudiments, one of the things that I must have is love for this person.
Mm.
Love will make me do over and off because I love the person.
Okay.
So my advice to this person is, if you don't love the person, why are you there?
Mm.
Why are you even there?
You love grow.
You know, so with love we grow from here. The love that was not there, it now was just like say, corn was not grow. How do you expect corn to come?
Mm.
So the love has to be there first
Mm.
before you see other things.
Okay.
So,
I think I have a last question.
okay.
Do marriage satisfy emotional fulfillment?
Ha! I'm sorry I had to scram. Okay. I think I learned this very late. One of the things that we should never think is that my spouse will make me happy.
I've learned that already.
I learned that quite late. Don't ever think that your spouse will make you happy. You must first be happy.
It's your Jesus and your joy.
Be happy. You know, have joy. Be a happy person. My children always say, Mommy, you like to play. I need to. So whether or not the person is not there, my joy is not tied to.
Yeah.
So I'm a happy person. You are a happy person. We come together. Happiness.
Happy home.
But if I'm waiting for me to be happy because you are there, then I don't know. So we must first learn to love yourself.
Accept who you are.
First. Love. So one of the problems that many marriages, I think that, end up getting, divorced or having issues is we do not love ourselves first. I cannot give what I don't have.
True.
So if I don't love myself, it will be difficult for me to love another person. Because even the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So first, yourself. I should love myself. So find my happy. I need to find my happy first. I shouldn't wait to get a man to find happy. So even if Solomon is not there, I find him.
Yes,
yeah, he's not around. Oh, I could miss him. Oh, but that it doesn't remove the fact that I'm a happy person.
True.
Solomon does not need to wait for Judy to be there for him to be ugly and happy. No. So find your happy.
All right. So we're coming to the end of these episodes. I want us to ask our last questions and then drop our parting words as we do. So we'll start from Hope. You've been quiet for too long. You've been
quiet because I've been
listening a lot, and you've been taking in a lot.
I'm telling you, you don't want to know what if I will tell you, but later.
All right.
I've learned a lot actually, but there's still something that remains. I know we've stripped it, but I want us to address this point. Online you see a lot of information, too many views of issues. There's this issue on trusting God on whom to marry. Some years back, maybe 5 years ago, I once read, I'm guessing online in the post, where someone says there is no room for dating. In fact, dating only means that you are not spiritually sound, that you do not trust God enough to give you someone. Because there is nothing you want to date and talk and gist within, is it 1 year or 2 years or whatever, how long, that will reveal to you what God can show you. I don't know if I'm the only person that has. And frankly, it's more than 5 years. I was in school then too. It's been a while. And frankly, that was my belief.
At some point.
At some point. So, what do you think about this?
Some people are of the school of thought that Christian don't say courtship. They are just terminologies for me. But then again, I cannot meet Hope on the way. And I've seen some physical things in Hope. And I say, okay, Hope is the person that I want. And I don't even, for a few weeks, months, try to even know.
Have a conversation at least.
At least have a conversation. So that having a conversation is what we term dating. Actually. Or courtship. I go to a fast food, we go to a restaurant, we go to the beach and we sit and then we talk. Oh, what's your father's name? What's your mother's name? What's your best food? Basically, that's what happens when we say we're going on a date. Basically, that's what happens. So I don't think that it is out of place to actually do that. Yes, agreed. We will not know everything. Once we get into marriage, you begin to so many things. You begin to unpack so many things. That's true. But there are some basic things that I must know. I should know. you know. And I get to know that when we have
Conversation. That is why there's communication.
so I must get to learn. So I must know some of the things that triggers you. You should know some of the things that would trigger me.
Yeah.
So it's for me, that's what should be done. Oh, I like the fact that we go for counseling. Oh, we do great job. But what if I go for all those counseling and I'm not sure?
And I'm not saying anything.
More with your head first. And then we get in and a new but all the time when uncle was talking, you were quiet and smiling. You didn't know me. Yeah.
Okay, I have one more question. Let me keep it. What do you have to say to those young men,
Charles
those
taking off his glasses,
brothers out there, who, in the place of prayer, God has shown them someone, but the other person is not seeing it.
And you're stressing their life unnecessarily.
Exactly. In fact, they block the person on social media.
sell you,
Take passion to continue.
sell you for free. No matter how long it takes, if it is that person, no matter how long it takes, when it is time, that person
Swept up.
we break.
So they should persevere. Keep up the effort.
Sometimes the brothers might
They
even
are the place of prayer.
forget about it and move on. But if it is that person, all you even need, the brother needs to do is, Lord, I've this person, just review to the person and move him and leave it.
Just leave it in the hands of.
Just leave it.
For however.
No,
long
but
it
sorry,
takes.
what is yours? Don't you think that the brother waiting
Uh,
could be like a waste of time?
which waste of time?
The area I'm coming from,
If God,
Especially, maybe I should even make it
I
worse when the
said-
other person is beginning to cut another person.
imagine, bro, stressing the brother emotion.
God has said that this is the person, no matter how long, except God has not approved of it, except God is not, it might seem long. I will go back to who get the clock.
Yeah.
It might seem long in our eyes. At the right time, when God has said this is the time, why we break the courtship or the relationship, they no understand.
Yes.
But it just happen. It will just happen.
Yes. So Chibuzo, ask your question, then we.
It will just happen.
Or you
Well-
don't have any other question.
There was a question I wanted to ask, but while I was listening to
She answered.
the
Please,
answer,
answer.
so it skipped, but no problem.
Hey. So
That's what I'm
parting
saying.
words. Parting words. We'll start from Chibuzo. Chibuzo, what do you
Well,
have to say?
my parting words about this. I feel that most times in relationship, the mindset I have is everybody should play their role.
Mhm.
That's what I believe.
Mhm.
Sorry, I just remember the question. Do you think? Sorry, do you think that there's a saying that there's a school of thought that in relationship and love, that let the ladies' love be higher? I'm coming. There's a word there that the ladies' love is higher, that the relationship will last. That's the normal.
Okay, the lady should love the guy
but
more
that's
than
like
the way
a
the guy
general,
loves.
that's a
Oh, general school of thought.
Yeah, that's a school of thought most people have. That for the marriage and
trying-
love to
I'm
last.
still trying to.
I've actually heard it
understand.
the opposite too.
I'm still trying to understand
that
where Chibuzo gets facts.
I read a lot.
It's okay.
I read a lot.
But the other way around.
It's okay.
I read a lot.
You know the truth about relationship and marriage, and bring your 100%. I bring my 100%. Don't bring 50 plus 50, 100. Bring 100. I bring my. I'm supposed to bring myself.
Yeah.
The whole of myself.
Yeah.
You bring the whole of yourself.
Yeah.
That's what makes a relationship work. But you bring a 50%. You have 50% hidden
You
somewhere. What? Why are you hiding it? Bring your 100. I bring my 100. Then the relationship is solid. That's 200. Heavy. Strong. That's what it should be. Not a 50-50 now.
Okay.
Okay,
So your party.
my
Okay.
parting word.
All right.
I believe that when it comes to marriage, your sanity and your peace should be number one. Because I feel that when you're in love with someone, one, consider your peace, consider your sanity, consider your compatibility. Because I feel that most people feel
Both of you must like the same color.
no, you must not like you may be like, for instance, some persons, the lady may be the type that love to spend money unnecessarily. And the guy may be the type that no checkmates her.
That's complimenting.
Well, that's compliment.
You compliment yourself.
And compatibility too. Complement in the area of check your weaknesses, your strength, and try to stand it. Then compatibility, the ability to understand yourselves and see how to flow.
True.
So I feel in everything, if you check our sanity, if it does not give you peace, please, I may be wrong, but please back off if it's not.
All right.
After.
I think.
Okay.
You're not supposed to think. Please
Think
before.
Okay,
Because once you have entered, you have entered.
my
go.
parting shots would be, from one of the very crucial points that I've really loved to relearn in today's episode, which is you be the love. So, a lot of times we are expecting love to come externally. I see on social media, on WhatsApp. I pray for you that you will find someone who loves you. Okay. I saw that prayer this morning on some status. Okay, but rather our prayer should be we should be love. Trust God to find someone who is also love. 100%, like she said, and yeah, 100%.
So the foundation will be solid. So I think my parting word will be know God. Let your foundation be God is your source. Then when two of you come together with your hundreds, your foundation will be stronger. So you're like a tripod stand. And you cannot be broken, right? Okay, so Mama, what's your parting word?
Oh my God, it's been quite impactful. I've had a good time. So I will just say this just before we wrap. In finding a spouse or in getting married, just like we said from the beginning, you'll be love in action and love as a person. Most importantly, you go beyond being nice to being good. Only good people actually love. Nice people pretend to love. So be good and love. God bless.
So I believe that's enough parting words to close this curtain on this episode. So, I believe you've learned a lot, right? Please don't forget to drop your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe to this Untamed podcast. And please click that notification bell beside the subscribe button. And guess what? When you click the notification bell, every time we drop a new episode, you'll be the first to be notified that there is a new episode in town. See you some other time. It's goodbye from me.
Bye from Chibuzo.
See you soon.
And goodbye from me. God bless.
Bye.